Welcome to the Flashcast series by Spectrum Education. Welcome to this week's episode. Today, Lachie's going to be talking about stress and overwhelm. Take it away, Lachie.
So welcome back, guys. So we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to be sharing some experiences and strategies on how to deal with stress and overwhelm. Right, so stress is a natural response for our human body, right? When we feel we're going to be fearful of things, we act in a way that makes us want to heighten our senses so that back in the day we would run or fight. Whereas now we have more things in our day-to-day life that are causing us to feel stressed. So we get that hormonic response and everything becomes heightened, which, after those heightened senses, you generally have that crash and it can feel overwhelming. Like the best way I would describe it for myself is my head used to feel like a blender. I'd be throwing in the protein, the egg, I actually never put egg in my protein, but the spinach, the nuts, all that sort of stuff in there and the milk, and then just hit it on spin, and that's what it felt like. And then I was trying to pull out the individual ingredients. It's like, good luck doing that when there's a blade going through there. So knowing that, stress often causes me to be less productive, overwhelm leads me to feeling anxious and, never really feeling present. I'm always fearful of the future and what's to come. I realized, after a long period, it was probably a good 4-year period where I wasn't progressing in my life and I wasn't happy in my own mind and I didn't enjoy a lot of the day-to-day things. And what I was taught 5-6 years ago, which was an easy way to unpack that, is we all believe we're capable in remembering everything that we have to do during the day or the task. And, I'm one of those people that believe that as well. But I also know that we are riddled with distractions, right? The moment that I walk out of this room, I'll switch my notifications on. Well, I should never do that, but let's use that as an example. People will get emails, phone calls, check Instagram, or you might bump into a friend and all of a sudden you're in that moment and you forgot about all the other things that you had to do, but underneath, I was meant to be doing something. I can't remember quite what that was. And we become stressed because we think, was that important? And then we, as that sort of builds up over the day, we go, what was I supposed to be doing? What was I supposed to be doing? Or other people do it in a completely different way where they use a diary or a to-do list and they jam-pack it too much. They don't think about how long each individual task is going to take. And they get overwhelmed because they're not getting everything done. So the easiest way, in my opinion, to deal with stress and overwhelm, 1, get a freaking diary. Grab yourself a diary and time chunk things. And what I learned, when I first got my diary, I would try and fit in as many appointments as possible, and I would never account for travel time. And that caused me to be overwhelmed and stressed because I'd either have to cancel meetings because I was running late or I couldn't do it, or I'd get stuck in traffic, or I would have to do something else. Right? And then I would get stressed and overwhelmed because I'm then canceling things. I feel like I'm not doing my best. So what I learned over time was to be realistic. So for me, as a business owner now, I know full well I'm never doing more than 5 appointments in a day. And it may, from a business standpoint, it may say, well, that's a bit ridiculous. You're slowing things down, and full well I am. But it's decreased the stress in my life, and it's decreased the overwhelm. And like all of you, I'm a human being. Like I'll have, I could have a phone call with someone saying, let's do this. And if I don't write it down or put it in the diary straight away, I'll forget about it. And I'll get to the hour before that meeting and someone such and such will email me, are we still good for this meeting? And I'll go, what meeting? I forgot about it because I didn't put it in my diary. And I just trusted my mind to remember it. But obviously with all the information coming in on a daily basis, that went on the back burner and I forgot all about it. So here's what I would recommend you doing. If you don't have a diary, if you don't use a diary, get a diary. Then how is it every Sunday night, I go through and put all the non-negotiables in for my week. The non-negotiables for me are exercise, spending time with my partner, work. As my morning routine is eating. I even schedule eating because a lot of people don't do that. Right, so then I've built my calendar, and once I've done that, I can see where the spare time is, and then I can go, okay, well, based off the 8 areas of life, what else is important for me to fit in this week? And I fill up my time. And then I go back and ask myself some questions. Roughly how long would I need to do this to get it done efficiently? Because if we don't give ourselves a time limit, we can often, daydream, dawdle. Things can take longer than they may need to, or you can do it from the opposite side of things. You might schedule enough time because we just go, all right, I need to do that. I don't really know how long it's going to take. So for me, with my stress and overwhelm, now having that diary, even if I get on a phone call and I forget where I'm supposed to be at, I just pull my diary out and I'll go from 10 till 11, I'm supposed to be doing this today. Have I finished what I was doing from 9 till 10? If I have, awesome, go straight on till 10 to 11. If I haven't, I then prioritize which is more important for me to do at this point in time. Is it to go into my 10 to 11 task, or is it my 9 till 10 task that I really urgently need to finish? And that's a decision for me to make. But rather than keep adding it to the list, I'll then just go through, okay, do I need to cut something else out of my day so I can catch up? Or do I just eradicate that task altogether? Because, a lot of people just keep adding to their to-do list before ever getting that sense of satisfaction of completing a to-do list for the day. So while I'll do 5 appointments and work with clients, I generally only give myself 3 tasks to get done for a day. And I think about which, for me, obviously, which are going to have the biggest or most significant increase on or improvement on me getting closer towards my goals that I've set. So when we talk about stress and overwhelm, that's one of the best things that I've implemented. I implement with clients on a weekly basis to help give them more clarity and structure. Because when you've got clarity and structure and you're doing what you said you were going to do because it's going to deliver an outcome, it's really hard to get stressed. It's really hard to feel overwhelmed. But if you still do, then it's okay, what else do I need to implement to decrease stress? Do I have any mindfulness practices? Am I disconnecting? Am I meditating? Am I eating well? Am I sleeping well? What do I need to do to decrease my stress? And that's a whole nother topic. So thanks for tuning in today's episode. Next week, we will be talking about why we must master communication to get the most out of life.
Thanks for listening to today's Flashcast. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to email into us at info@fsedu.com.au, and be sure to tune into our social channels so you don't miss the next episode. Thanks, see you next time.